How many of you like those kinds of storms? The storms of life. Anybody grateful when they don't materialize? When you think they're coming and you worry and then they don't come? That's not quite like that fresh snow for snowmobiling, is it? I found this devotion in my Jesus Calling book, which I really like. And it's really funny because Eric and I did this devotion when we were on the beach, when we were in Florida, and it was just so fitting. And I'm going to need my glasses. Remembered them this time. And the point is, obviously, God and Jesus are with us separately, beside us, holding us up and helping us through the storm, whether it materializes or not. You are surrounded by a sea of problems, but you are face to face with me, your peace. As long as you focus on me, you are safe. If you gaze too long at the myriad of problems around you, you will sink under the weight of your burdens. When you start to sink, simply call out, "Help me, Lord," and I will lift you up. The closer you live to me, the safer you are. Circumstances around you are undulating, and there are treacherous-looking waves in the distance. Fix your eyes on me, the one who never changes. By the time those waters reach you, they will have shrunk to proportions of my design. I am always beside you, helping you face today's waves. The future is a phantom seeking to spook you. Laugh at the future and stay close to me. So I really liked that devotion, and it was really perfect looking at those waves in the distance and thinking about how many times I worry about things that actually don't materialize. Or by the time they get to me, God's worked it all out. And I've spent all this time stressing out about different things. And I could ask each one of you for examples of that in your life. And I bet by the nods I see that you would have examples too. But then we'd all cry and I won't be able to get through it. So think about that. So obviously, sometimes we do see problems coming in the distance that could threaten us, but the expectation of what will happen is worse than the actual storm. And obviously, God has given us a verse in the Bible. Who of you by worrying can add a single hour to your life? So when we worry about those waves in the distance, if we can do something about it, great. But if we can't, it probably takes away hours of our lives instead of adding, I would assume. But sometimes, this is all not Pollyanna stuff, sometimes the storms do come. We were just in New Orleans and saw the devastation still 12 years later from Hurricane Katrina, and heard the stories of a guy who drove our shuttle, was on the bridge and had to dive in and go get food, break into a grocery store and bring it back to the people on the bridge, and there were bodies in the water and gators, and sometimes the storms come and they do destroy. So then what do we do? There's a picture of New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina. That one materialized, and it did bring a lot of destruction, and sometimes that happens in our lives too. But obviously, just like when Peter was walking on the water and he kept his eyes on Jesus, he stayed above the water. But when he looked away, what happened? He sank. So all we can really do, and it's really a lot, is to trust God that he'll help you through it and he'll keep you above the water and that he'll rebuild and help and restore. And Isaiah 54:10 says that thing, "For the mountains may be removed from you and the hills may shake, but my loving kindness will not be removed from you, and my covenant of peace will not be shaken, says the Lord who has compassion on you." He doesn't like it when the storms hurt us either, but he does promise that he will be there. So I just have to remind myself when I face the storms in life to keep my focus on Jesus, to try not to worry about things that might not actually materialize. And it might not be as bad as I think. And if it does come, and if it does bring harm and destruction in some way or another, I just have to trust that God will never leave me. And my Bereans know I say that all the time. I keep repeating, I trust you, Lord. I trust you, Lord. Like almost like it's a test, not really, but it's what I just have to say over and over again. And I don't always do it perfectly, but trusting him, trusting that he will walk through it and pick me up and restore and rebuild. And it's easier said than done, but I know that it's possible largely because I've seen a lot of you as my great examples in my Christian walk do it. And so I know it can happen, and I know that God does really remain faithful through the storms.